people ask about what if, what essentially they are just trying to communicate to themselves is, what if I had done something, my life had been different, and that essentially ties only to one thing. It is called regret. The first point about regret is actually that when regrets come, they are not usually surprises. Your deepest regrets are not usually surprises. That word, you didn't do it, that's how regret comes. You're seeing what can be, and then you allow fear to eventually take over. Regret doesn't happen overnight. You eventually build it precept by precept, brick upon brick, by yourself. What's the cement? What's the water? You collected bricklayers, and then they eventually molded it up to a point that there was nothing to do about it again, and then you submitted it to it. You either suffer for a moment or you suffer for a lifetime. I want you to close your eyes. Let's perform that exercise. Close your eyes. I want you to picture an old man. He's wearing a blue trousers, a round neck, top. It's essentially white. His face is bitter, and then he's been whispering something to himself. He's seated alone in a room. Right. You couldn't really decode what he was saying to himself, but at the end of the day, when you decoded, what you could only hear is what if. You can open your eyes. The exercise is done. We want to discuss about what if today. When people ask about what if, what essentially they are just trying to communicate to themselves is, what if I had done something, my life had been different, and that essentially ties only to one thing, and it is called regret. And you know the painful thing about regret, it's not from the mistakes you made, it's not from the things you didn't do well, it's not from the friends that you met that they were never good friends. It's an imagination that says that, what will my life turn out to be if I had even have confidence, the least amount of confidence to do something. That's what regret is. And that's what makes it much more painful, because you don't even know what it could have been. Your life could have been. It could have been the very opposite of what it is now. And that's what we'll be discussing. And the major reason for this video is that none of us ends up becoming like the man that we just pictured in his 80s, or his 60s, or his 70s, or his 90s. The first point about regret is actually that when regrets come, they are not usually surprises. Your deepest regrets are not usually surprises. So this is the thing. The art knows what it wants, right? And then when the art knows what it wants, it brings it in your memory, it brings it in your image, the dream you keep thinking about. It's actually not random. It's just an instruction to say, hey, you see, this is a path I want you to explore. Just explore it. The business idea that comes to your head that you said, I think I can try to do this. I think I can explore it. But then you kept it waiting. You're trying to do business plan. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. And at the end of the day, you didn't do it. Exactly. That word, you didn't do it. That's how regret comes. Now, is it that you should do everything that crosses your way? Absolutely not. But you see, when the heart keeps bringing something, you keep thinking about it. It keeps visualizing it in your head. You're seeing what can be. And then you allow fear to eventually take over. That essentially is how regrets come. And so when the regrets come, they are not things that you've not known before. They are not things that you've not heard about before. They are just things that you know you could have done, but you didn't even attempt to do it. The fact that it keeps coming back is a proof that you actually meant to chase it. But you know what you chose? You chose the opposite. You didn't face it. You didn't chase it. You didn't do anything about it. And you left it like that. And now the pain of it is actually that it doesn't hurt you immediately. It hurts you when you're trying to have a count of your life, when you're trying to have a count of last year, to say, what could I have done to have made last year better? What could I have done to have made this week something like this better? And then you remember. But by now, time is gone. Maybe you couldn't do it again because of one thing or the other. And that's how regret eventually takes over. Every day you wait, and then you build a prison of what ifs. You're going to end up regretting a lot of things. My word to that is actually to say that instead of building a prison of what ifs, why don't you build a prison of mistakes? Do a lot of things. Try to experiment a whole lot. Stop lying to yourself with excuses. Stop trying to say that you're still planning to do this thing. You know exactly what you have to do. And if you don't want to regret it, you eventually have to start doing it. The second point, but before I mention it, just take a time of yours, a second, just to help me. Click the subscribe button and then like this and share it with those that you know care. The second thing about regret and how it comes about is the slow and silent prison of inaction. Inaction is the chief cause of regret. How does this work? Right? You see, regret doesn't happen overnight. You eventually build it precept by precept, brick upon brick, by yourself. You bought the cement, you bought the water, you collected bricklayers, and then they eventually molded it up to a point that there was nothing you could do about it again, and then you submitted it to it. And you know how it happens? It happens in such a way that not that this is what you should do, but you decided to avoid it and you decided to not do anything about it. You see, there is a difference when you try something and you fail, and when you didn't try and then you're asking yourself later in life. Failure is just a bruise. It happens to everybody. Failure is a data point. At least I'd said this on the channel. Failure is a data point. You know that, okay, maybe this would not work for me. Let me try this. But you know what the imaginary ache of never knowing what will happen if you do something really is? There is nothing compared to it. It's like death in itself, right? And because the only reason why that can actually come up is because you have something you could explore and then you decided not to explore it. The reasons why we don't explore things, what your friend will say, what your father would say, what person will say, what that person will say, what your lecturer in school will say. And it's never really about you. It's about what the other person will say. There's a video we did, and I will link it. You're not that special. Nobody's even looking at you. Nobody even cares about what you're doing. Why don't you just do it anyway and get regret out of the way? By the time you're 60s, you're 80s, you would not be looking at what they will be saying then. You will be judging yourself by the actions that you did then and then. Oh, you could probably say you were stupid, but it's beyond being stupid. It was scared. Scared to achieve your own particular destiny by yourself. How sad would that be? Again, you either suffer for a moment or you suffer for a lifetime. When you suffer for a moment, you make mistakes, you fall. People talk about you. People do all sorts of things. Even sometimes you curse yourself. You do this, you do that. But you know what the pain of a lifetime is? If I had done it, would I have been successful? Would I be where I am today? Would this happen? If I had done this, if I had done that. When I was in 100 level, if I had gone out with very good grades, in 200 level, if I had intensified, would I be working here? And then you see how it spirals on each other. Again, do you want the suffering of a lifetime? Or just once? It's in your court. Pick it. I always say something, and this is it. This is not your real face. This is not my real face. You know what my real face is? I'm 70 years old, 80-year-old. And the third point is this. Your future self is essentially begging you to take action, right? If in 15 years from now, 30 years from now, would I be able to defend the choices I'm making now? Or I'm just currently carrying regret into my future? And when you ask yourself this very unique truth, one of the things that helps you do and helps you see is how you've not been taking action, how you've been trying to avoid the things that you should do. And then you can see that by the time I'm 60 years of age, I mean, this is clear regret, capital letter REGRET. Right? And then what you want to really do is that you want to ask yourself questions. You're picturing yourself at 60. What do I want to do now? Okay, I want to make these sorts of things now. I want to do these sorts of things now. I want to read these kinds of books now. I want to beef up myself. I want to get into very wonderful circles now. And then you begin to do it all because you have a vision of where your future self should be. Every day you're actually building one of two futures. It's either one of pride or one of regret. You can eventually choose. But if you're watching this, and I'm sure you're watching this, I would advise you, go into your future, travel there. What do you want to see there? Whatever you want to see there, start doing it from now. So it's journal time, right? And just like we do it, I want you to write something, right? What is the thing that you're going to regret if you don't do? Just one thing. And then commit a time to it that you're going to do. What is the thing that if you don't do, you're going to regret, and commit a time to starting it or doing it around execution? Your future self is always begging you to act, even though you don't see it now. Don't try to betray it. Please. Take just one step today, because tomorrow is never guaranteed for anyone. So I'll see you in the next video. Till we all win.